Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Before the Kickoff podcast. I am your host, James Christopher, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Chase Oliver. What is up, Chase?
What is up, James? What a weekend of football. Probably like the best weekend of football ever. The best. I mean, there was one bad game, but it's the best football weekend ever.
Yeah, I really love this weekend. And let's start just a little bit of what happened last week with the Ravens and Broncos. Just what a game. What a game by Joe Flacco. And also Seahawks and Falcons. Just what a game that was. Any quick thoughts on those games last week?
The Ravens and Broncos, my favorite parts were where Peyton Manning would be audibling, and then Ray Lewis would tell his defense what he's going to do. So he would say, ha! And then Ray Lewis would be all like, fake, fake, fake. Like he would just talk about like what's going on. It just felt so, it was just magical watching that. And there was a lot of crazy stuff going in that game with bad officiating, but I didn't really see it. I just enjoyed the game. I tell people all the time, your players are playing on the field. They have 60 minutes to play on the field and show it. Yeah, the refs are going to get involved, but they have to shake that off and keep on playing. And the Ravens shook it off and kept on playing, and the Broncos really felt like they just didn't want to play anymore. And for the Falcons game, there's no denying Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan are ballers. I don't want to hear that Matt Ryan can't play under pressure, because that kid can. And Russell Wilson, he's just phenomenal. Pete Carroll, he has done wonderful things, and it shows to everyone that doubts, the size of a quarterback. Don't worry about their size. Worry about if they can play on the field. And it really showed that, the Falcons are ready for the NFC Championship. So pretty much I enjoyed those two games.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk all about last week. We're here to talk about this week. And this week, it is Conference Championship week. We have the AFC and NFC Championship games. And we're going to start off with the first game we will see. And that first game will be the NFC Championship, where we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. Last week, both teams obviously won. That's why they're here. But more importantly, last week, Colin Kaepernick for the San Francisco 49ers had a great game, while Matt Ryan for the Atlanta Falcons had a great game. So both of these quarterbacks are coming off of huge games, and they're really mentally prepared for this game. But Chase, who do you see winning the NFC Championship?
This game is hard, mainly because these two teams right here, they've been looking good all season long. Yes, the Falcons have been the 1 seed, and they really haven't had a tough schedule. But I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Falcons, to me, Michael Turner had a good game, but it was just like, didn't seem right. Jacquizz Rodgers is an X factor, but it wasn't like, oh my God, he can change the game's perfection. Like, he can change the whole game itself. Like, he's not one player that changes the whole game. Colin Copernicus, as I like to call him, because he's an emperor. He's the emperor of the 49ers. This man dismantled the Green Bay Packers' also vaunted defense. Clay Matthews could not stop this man. Hell, he couldn't even get off a block from LaMichael James. He couldn't get off a block from LaMichael James. It was ridiculous what I was seeing from the Packers. B.J. Rodgers was non-existent. And that read option, I have never seen a read option done so well in football. That read option is like what Jim Harbaugh has done has made the Wildcat, but 10 times better. And with the quarterback that can throw and, run the football. Like, the read option, if you just notice, I was confused half the time. I didn't know who would have the ball. And the Falcons' rush defense, yes, they managed to contain beast mode for a little bit. But if you keep them on the field long enough, this team gets too tired out, where Robert Turbin came into the game and he was being able to find some success against them. I really do feel that the 49ers offense will manhandle the defense. Now, when it comes to the 49ers defense, I really do think that they're going to have some struggles. Atlanta likes to run bubble screens and good deep routes with their, two big bad wide receivers and their tight end. So it's going to be hard, but I really don't think Matt Ryan is ready for this type of pressure. I think he will do better next year, but this year I just got the 49ers, and I think Colin Copernicus and the San Francisco 49ers will be going to the Super Bowl.
Well, for me, I was previously going to go the Atlanta Falcons, but the more I think about it, I just don't think that their defense is going to be able to contain Colin Kaepernick, and you said it great. He is the emperor of this defense. I don't know if he can be stopped. He really is showing why he deserved to be the starting quarterback. I'm not saying that Alex Smith is not a starting quarterback. He's better than probably half the quarterbacks in the NFL. But Colin Kaepernick is better, and I think we're seeing that week after week, and I think we're going to see it again when Colin Kaepernick leads his team to the Super Bowl this year. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm just going to say leads them there. And let's not also forget that when Colin Kaepernick is running around, not only does that also help out the passing game, it also helps out the running game as well. I mean, when Colin Kaepernick is running around, doing his thing, every part of the offense is doing well along with that. It became to the point in the Packers game where the Packers couldn't stop the run, they couldn't stop the pass, they couldn't stop anything. There was not anything that the Packers could stop, and I don't think there's going to be anything that the Falcons will stop, and I just think the 49ers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year, unlike last year where really, to me, Alex Smith had problems going against going against the New York Giants pass rush. But when you look at this Atlanta pass rush, I don't see much there. John Abraham, he's banged up. I don't know if he's going to play. Sean Weatherspoon is all right. I mean, he can get his sacks every now and then, and same with Babineau, but they're not a great pass rush that Atlanta has, and I think that is what's going to hurt him the most. I have complete faith in Matt Ryan after what I saw last week. I don't think he's going to be the problem here. I just think that Colin Kaepernick will be the problem, or instead be the solution for the 49ers. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. Now let's ask our NFC West writer, Chris Valde. What are your thoughts on this game?
Well, I think both of you guys have kind of hit the nail on the coffin about this game, because this is a really intriguing matchup. It seems like just yesterday everyone's asking Harbaugh, like, why are you switching from Alex Smith to Kaepernick? You must be crazy. Alex Smith was just maybe a play or two away from bringing you to the Super Bowl last year, and now you're bringing in a young quarterback who has no NFL experience whatsoever, at least starting-wise. And he's really kind of proved all the, I guess you could say the haters wrong, because, we all know Alex Smith, he's a talented quarterback, he's not a bad quarterback, but, he's more of a pocket passer kind of a guy, and then you got, a multi-talented guy like, Colin Kaepernick, who can move over in the pocket, and at the same time, kind of be like a Michael Vick, kind of like a Cam Newton, scramble in the pocket and make a big play, maybe run down the field for 20 or 30 yards in one particular game in itself. So, he is a game changer, I think. And then you also can't forget about the talented running back of Frank Gore. I think, honestly, sometimes people do forget how good Frank Gore is. Frank Gore is one of the most talented running backs, to me, in the National Football League. Michael Crabtree, he's been doing a pretty good connection there with Kaepernick. And then we all know about the defense with the Niners. It's good. Is it a perfect defense? No, not necessarily, but it's a good defense nonetheless. And then with the Falcons, they impressed me last week. I sat here going, I don't think Matt Ryan could do in the playoffs. He showed me wrong. However, again, the Falcons showed that them being the number one seed and having, the best record in the National Football League, if not one of the best records in the National Football League, is kind of mean that they're a good team, but they're not a great team. They can struggle, especially in the defense-wise. They can struggle. Matt Ryan, out of nowhere, he was on fire. He was working well. Next thing you know, he starts throwing interceptions, and everyone's sitting here going, uh-oh, it's all over again. This is the real Falcons team. So I don't know if this Falcons team is ready to go on to New Orleans and going into Louisiana, being the NFC champions, and going for the Super Bowl. So I'm going to sit here, and the Falcons, they had a good season, but I agree with you guys. I just think the 49ers are going to be too much for this team.
Chase, I believe it's time for your College Minute of the Week.
It is time for my College Minute of the Week, and also this is some big-time, college football minute starting up after the Super Bowl. Yes, after the Super Bowl, and I need you guys' help for this. I'm going to be breaking down for this college football minute because there's not really much to talk about besides scouting, high school kids going to the NFL signing day, to college. So I need you guys to know, who would you guys like me to talk about in the NFL draft? players are all available. But let's get started real quick. Speaking of the NFL draft, underclassmen, their declaration for the draft is tomorrow. So all the underclassmen, we will know who is going up. Also, Brian Kelly dabbled with the Eagles a little bit, but is ultimately staying with Notre Dame. Good decision, because I don't think he would have handled that Eagles team. That Eagles team just has too much problems. But other than that, tell me down below in the comment section, who would you guys like me to talk about? Manti Te'o, Geno Smith, Matt Elam, Bajardo Romero, his weird name. I'll have to learn it, but his weird name. He's a baller. So tell me down below, who would you like me to discuss? This will start after the Super Bowl, and that is my College Minute.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the.
Everybody, sorry for our new segment, Pulled Over. I am the cop. Chase is the perpetrator. This week, Chase, who are you?
Well, I'm Peyton Manning. Zebra.
So, Peyton, let me get this straight, okay? You're in the AFC divisional round, all right? So you're in a huge playoff game. Am I correct so far?
Yes, you are, sir. Zebra, blue.
Okay, so you're in a playoff game, and what you do, you roll out to the right of the football field, and you throw a terrible throw that is intercepted. Peyton, do you think that you are to blame for the Denver loss this week?
Oh, I mean, everyone is to blame in this situation. Blue, Papa John's. But in all honesty here, it's also the defense's fault, mainly because they couldn't stop Joe Flacco. And also, I really thought Brandon Stokely was open on that play. I mean, did you not see the last 3 third downs? I threw it to him, and he caught it. Opposite. So it was almost like I needed to throw to him. I trusted him more than Demarius and Eric Decker that game.
You see, Peyton, I hold on. I just don't understand, okay? I'm running it down on my notes here. So let me get this straight. You are saying that it is not your fault that you lost. So tell me this.
Yes. I'm a part of the.
How about you explain this to me, Mr. Manning? Tell me this, Mr. Manning. Do you blame John Fox for not letting you go for it? Do you think you should have went for it with 30 seconds left in regulation?
No. See, if we were at better field position, let's say on their 40, we would have gone for it. But it was just too risky. We know that the arm strength it's not questionable. It's still there, but we just knew that they were going to go in prevent, and it was going to be a wasted battle.
All right, Peyton. Well, I think you're going to go off. I'm going to say that you are, unfortunately, guilty, and you will be spending the next year off season in jail. I'm sorry, Peyton, but you are guilty.
Eli!
Anyway, we're going to move back to our picks, our predictions. We have the AFC championship game to get to. The Baltimore Ravens upset the Denver Broncos. We went into that a little bit. While last week as well, the New England Patriots beat, and let me tell you, they beat the Houston Texans. Again, we have a rematch of last year's AFC championship. Patriots, Ravens. Last year, the Patriots won by 3. We all remember the infamous Billy Cundiff missed field goal that would have brought the game to overtime. And we also remember the Lee Evans drop that would have won the Baltimore Ravens the game. So, Chase, we have the rematch this week. Who will win the AFC championship?
Well, this is going to be an interesting game. You could either go with logic, which is the Patriots should destroy the Ravens, or you could go with more of spiritual and emotion-driven. And I'm going on that side, and I'm choosing the Baltimore Ravens. The reason is because I play football, and I'm pretty sure most of you viewers have played any type of sport, and it's not just football, it's any sport. When you have something emotional going on, your team is most likely going to play better than they have in the past. This team right here, this Ravens team, this defense, okay, face Andrew Luck and the Colts. Yeah, that's a young team. People are just saying it's a young team, blah, blah, blah. Even though the Colts were on an emotional high, too, they were still just a young team, right? So they move on forward to the Denver Broncos. And this is a game where last time these guys played, the Broncos destroyed the Ravens. That wasn't the case. It was a really close game throughout. I know people are going to say the officiating was terrible, especially Broncos fans. But your players still have to play, like I said earlier. Your players still have to play. And the Ravens, they're just such on an emotional high. They were on such a big emotional level that I really do feel they can pull off the upset and make it to the Super Bowl. The Patriots, they are still a good football team. There's no way to count them out. But I really do feel when the Ravens heard no more Gronkowski, I really do feel like that gives them an advantage. No more Gronkowski. Gronk is done. That's a huge advantage for any team. Gronkowski is probably one of the best, if not the best, tight end in the NFL today. You take him out of this equation, and he is gone. Now, this all comes down to Joe Flacco. The problem with this game is that Joe Flacco is not facing the same Patriots secondary. Hakeem Talib has changed this secondary. The secondary is much more better with him in there. I don't know why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave him up for a box of cookies, but that was ridiculous. This guy is playing really good. They said he had attitude problems. Bill Belichick fixed those attitude problems, and this guy is playing some of the best ball I've seen him play. And in all honesty, Joe Flacco, I think, could struggle in this game. But emotionally, I really am going with the Ravens, but the Patriots still can win. But I'm definitely going for the Ravens to win this game. I think I'm going on the emotional side, and I think the Ravens will win this game. So, yeah.
Well, you see, the thing is, for me, I did pick the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl before the season started. I'm even surprised that they made it this far. So maybe I'm just picking out of that spite. But to me, when I honestly sit down and say who will win this game, I honestly do believe that the Baltimore Ravens will win this game. And let me go into why a little bit. Let's look back to this year. This very year. I'm not talking about the AFC Championship from last year. I'm talking about this very year. This year, the Baltimore Ravens defeated the New England Patriots 31-30 or some score around that. Point is, they won by a last-minute field goal the way it should have been, even though it would have brought it to overtime last year. But at that point, the Ravens had the momentum to win the game. And I look at last week's game. Yes, the Patriots did dominate and beat the Houston Texans, but I'm pretty sure last year as well, the Patriots dominated the Denver Broncos 45-10, and they still got into a close game with the Baltimore Ravens. So don't look back in the divisional round and say, oh, the Patriots killed whoever. That doesn't mean much to me. So I am looking at Joe Flacco, and let me tell you something about Mean Joe, as they call him in Baltimore. Mean Joe Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks in this league when it comes to the playoffs. I don't think that the only people that are better, I would say, is maybe Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Tom Brady at times. Now, last year in the AFC Championship, Tom Brady was not better than Joe Flacco in that game. It is more of the running game that helped the Patriots win that game, and maybe it's going to be the same during this game. I just think at the end of the day, Ray Lewis is going to inspire this team so much. They have so much emotion riding for them. Ray Lewis's retirement, the fact that they lost the AFC Championship last year. You really think Ray Lewis is going to let his team lose the game again in the AFC Championship? You really think Ray Lewis is going to let that happen? No. He's going to give an empowering pre-game speech this week. And I think that all that bottled together is going to make a fantastic chicken soup to the point that the Baltimore Ravens will upset the New England Patriots. Chase, any more thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I really do feel an upset is coming here. It's just that the Patriots still can win. It's not like we're saying, like, oh, the Patriots are doomed here. They can still win. They're still a good football team. I'm just more on the emotional, spiritual side where it comes down to football, because there's more than just football than just the fan favorites or the casual picks. There's more to that. And that's what I look for in football. And I really see that with the Ravens. I mean, this defense has just played off the wall really good. So I'm still going with the Ravens. And you're right about Joe Flacco. He's a beast. He's a monster.
Yep, there's no doubt about that, and we're out of time. So thank you for checking out the Before the Kickoff podcast. Make sure to check out beforethekickoff.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Before Kickoff. Make sure to follow like us on Facebook, facebook.com/beforethekickoff. And make sure to just, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Comment down below. We like having you. Comment down below. Come on, man. Give us some feedback. Give us some love. Give us some hate. We don't care what it is. Just give it to us. For all of us here Before the Kickoff, we're signing off. Get ready to sit back and watch some playoff football just one time more before the Super Bowl. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. James Christopher, Chase Oliver signing off. Check y'all later.